have a small commission that I'm about to embark on, and I'm going to show you how it's going to progress. And someone in my previous video asked, why start with a green ground? And it has to do with color theory. And because I'm painting portraits, my goal in the end is to create the most lifelike feeling of flesh and likeness and a sense of life. And that process really is like building a house. You get the land, you level the land, and then you mark off how big this house is going to be, measure it out, and then you start building up. Framing, well actually a foundation, framing, and then everything else on top of it. So I think of painting a portrait similarly, in that every stage there is a reason for that, and I know some people just go ahead and paint against white. I find that a very inaccurate way to begin, especially for a portrait, because when we look at the natural world, we're never looking at colors against white. Now, this goes into modern color theory, which I will explain in parts in the future, but for right now, we're taking a little step-by-step how color theory is applied. And let me clarify this. Color theory is not like math theory, where you will prove your theory and you arrive at some absolute answer, right? Color theory is actually a very inaccurate process. And I was about to say science, but I'm not really sure if it's a science. Color theory, the way we use it in art school, is really a set of ideas that make talking about the phenomena of seeing and seeing color comprehensible, and gives us the language in which to talk about it, because color is really ephemeral. And if you think about modern day color theory as if it's some kind of set of ideas that allows us to understand color better than our predecessors, this is simply untrue. And it's borne out by the fact, if you go back 15th century, 16th century, at the peak of European oil painting, the Renaissance and the Baroque periods, which I think are the peak, you will see artists using a variety of colors with a very specific kind of palette, and they arrive at harmonious, beautiful, masterful works. And they did not think about color in the way we think about color today, or the way that color is taught today. So this is why I say that I think theory is probably a bad word for how we talk about modern color, but let's just say, for the sake of simplicity, everyone calls it color theory, color theory. So one of the aspects of color theory is this idea that every color has a quality, a set of qualities. And one of those qualities is warm versus cool. Is a color warm, like my shirt, or is it cool, like this blue, light powder blue of this background? And understanding warm and cool is perhaps the most difficult part of color theory, because it has nothing to do with actual physical properties of the color. It has to do with our cultural language around what we think is warm and what we think is cool. We think things that are red, yellow, orange, rust, those are warm colors. Fire, right? We think of fire. And we think of blue, green, certain kinds of purple as being cool colors because they exist in the cool sky, the cool water, the cool forest. But again, these are cultural references that have become a part of the language. However, there is an importance in understanding this concept. And I am showing it to you right now as I stand before this green background. You can see that my warm shirt, my warm tone of my face, yellow, orange, sienna, ochre, stands out against a green background. And that green background is cool, I am warm. And so that difference in temperature allows for this differentiation and vibrancy to take place. If you can see me against white, my maroon shirt still looks maroon. I still have a warmish color, but there's something that kind of is sucked out of the palette by showing the color of me against white. So it's isolating. White is isolating. It's isolating this color. This is me against green. And I hope you can see that difference. I get much warmer against green. There's a sense of vitality in this color composition. Back to my portrait. Now, I am painting a child, a very young child, who's not even a year old. So I took this commission on, in part because they're friends of mine, and we're in still somewhat sheltering, and I can't do my usual routine. It's not safe for all of us to just interact right now, and so they sent me photos. The mom sent me photos of the child, and I am going to do my best to see if I can capture the essence of this little girl, and you're going to be along for the ride. So, let's go.